Well, welcome everyone. Hey, we may have a smaller group today because of the holidays, but it doesn't matter. It's really nice to see everybody, and today we're really honored to have Barbara um, Wanden,
What?
Waden,
Yes.
Bache. Is
Baccei.
that Baccei?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I slaughtered that one.
that's okay.
And she will be giving a Dharma talk, which is a little different than what we normally have. It's going to be a guided, embodied meditation practice for challenging times. So we'll really spend quite a bit of time in meditation today, in the guided meditation, and not in our usual format. So be open, and here's Barbara.
Hello. I'm testing the volume. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes,
Okay, and now I want to test my bell to make sure that you can hear that.
yes.
Yes, okay. It didn't knock anybody off their seat, right? Okay, okay. Well, what would be best is if you're sitting on a chair with a straight back, that's kind of a hard chair, um, and that your feet touch the ground. So if your feet can't rest on the floor, elevate them with a pillow or something so that you're forming a right angle from your hip to your knees to your ankles, okay? And that grounding is kind of special for us. Okay. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I thought that I would like to offer you a guided embodied meditation. You know, Zen is an embodied practice. We sometimes forget that. Um, the Buddha talked about the four foundations of mindfulness, and it is very body centered. We sometimes forget that. And, you know, we do live in challenging times, challenging for what's going on in the world. And this is a hectic holiday season. But the truth is, humans have always lived in challenging times. We've always lived in challenging times. Um, so may this offering be helpful to you. So what I will do is once we get settled, I'll ring the bell twice. I'll guide you through a meditation practice. And at the end, I'll ring the bell when we're complete. Okay? So let's find that comfortable place to sit. You can place your hands on your um, legs, on your thighs, with your palms down or your palms up, whatever is comfortable for you. And let's begin by closing the eye shades just a bit. You can either close your eyes entirely or you can keep them half open, whatever is comfortable for you. So finding that comfortable place to sit. Maybe we can lift the spine out of the sit bones and drop through the crown of the head. And let's bring our attention to our breathing. Not doing anything extraordinary, just noticing the simple in and out of the breath. Not forcing, being with the breath as is, sitting upright with your breath. Noticing the breath traveling in through the nostrils and drawing down into the lungs. As we exhale, the breath returns out, up through the lungs. You can either breathe out through the mouth or the nostrils, whatever is comfortable for you. We don't need to do anything special with the breath. Allow the breath to be as it is. But notice when we bring attention to the breath, sometimes it begins to deepen. And if it deepens, you'll notice that the lungs fill to a greater capacity. You might notice the air drawing into the lower lungs and down into the belly. The breath continuing as it is. Let us bring our attention to our feet. Your feet grounded, reaching into the earth. Can you sense the ball of the big toes? And then across all the balls of the toes to the little toe. Continuing to breathe with our feet, bring your attention to your heels. To the sole of the foot, the under arch, and the top of the foot. Now, can you draw your attention into the inside of the foot? Can you inhabit the entire foot? Sensing the foot from the inside out. And this internal sensing seems to expand the shell of the foot so that the foot is no longer just the flesh touching the floor, the bones resting inside the flesh, but it becomes something expanded, sensing into the foot. Breathing into that sense of the foot. Bringing your attention up to the lower leg, the front of the leg, the shin, and the back calf, the sides of the legs on the outside and inside. And now bring your attention inside the lower leg, sensing the lower leg from the inside. Feel it expanding beyond the boundaries of the leg. Breathing into the inside and outside and outer boundaries of the leg. Breathing in We travel up to the inside of the knees and the outside of the knees, the front of the knee and the back of the knee. And then sensing inside of the knee. Breathing into the upper leg, the front of the quad, the back, hamstrings, touching the top of the chair, the inside of the upper leg, and the outside of the upper leg. And now sensing inside of the upper leg. And now sensing into the entire leg, both legs, left and right, sensing inside, breathing inside. And now we bring the awareness up into our sit bones, pressing, resisting into the chair seat. The left sit bone and the right sit bone, pressing into the chair seat and holding you. Sensing into the front of the pelvis, the front of the hip socket, left and right, outer hip, left, outer hip, right, inner hip, right, inner hip, left. And now the awareness comes into the back of the pelvis, the lower back, the lumbar, can you sense inside of the pelvis? Can you sense inside of the organs that sit in the pelvis? The structure of the pelvis forming a housing for those lower organs. Can you sense into your kidneys, your bladder, your belly, intestines? And now we bring our awareness up the torso, the front of the body, the solar plexus, below the breastbone, above the navel. Sensing the bone structure, sensing the back rib cage, the left, the right. sensing into the spaces between the ribs. Bringing the breath there. The rib cage, the housing for vital organs, our heart, sensing into our heart, sensing into the beating of our heart, and then going deeper into that sense of the heart. Deeper than the beating. Sensing in to the left lung. Sensing into the right lung. Breathing into the front of the left lung. Breathing into the back of the left lung. Breathing into the front of the right lung. Breathing into the back of the right lung. Sensing into the diaphragm below the lungs, the bellows that helps the movement of the air in and out of the lungs. And now taking that sensing deeper, deeper than the function of the lungs, into the core of the lungs. Bringing our sensing into our hands. If your palms are up, feel the way the cup of the hand gently holds the air and space. Breathing into the left palm. Breathing into the right palm. Breathing into the back of the left hand. Breathing into the back of the right hand. And then breathing into all of the fingers. And now sensing deep into the core of the hands. Beyond the function of the hands, the core being of the hands. Breathing in to the left inner forearm, lower arm. Breathing into the outer left forearm. And then sensing in to the core of the forearm. Breathing into the underside of the right forearm and the outer side of the right forearm. And then sensing into the core of the right forearm. Sensing into the inside of the left elbow, the inside of the right elbow, the outside of the left elbow, and the outside of the right elbow. Breathing into the elbow, and then sensing into the core of the elbow, the core beyond the functioning, the being of the elbow. Breathing into the upper left arm, the inside. Breathing into the upper right arm inside. Breathing into the backside of the left upper arm. Breathing into the backside of the right upper arm. And then sensing into the core of the upper arm. Breathing into the front of the left shoulder. Breathing into the front of the right shoulder. Breathing into the back of the left shoulder. Breathing into the back of the right shoulder. Breathing into the outer shoulders, left, outer shoulder, right. Breathing into the left armpit. Breathing into the right armpit. And now sensing into both shoulders, sensing into the core, the essence, the being of the left shoulder, sensing into the core, the being of the right shoulder. Sensing into the back of the left shoulder, the scapula, the wing. Sensing into the right wing, scapula. Sensing into the left collarbone. Sensing into the right collarbone. Sensing into the upper torso, left and right. The upper shoulder cavity. Sensing into the front of the throat. Sensing into the back of the neck. Sensing into the left side neck. Sensing into right side neck. And then sensing in to the entire neck cavity, into the core. beyond the functioning. Sensing into the left inner ear. Sensing into the right inner ear. Sensing into the jaw. Sensing into the chin. Sensing into the tongue, touching the roof of the mouth. Sensing into the left nostril. Sensing into the right nostril. Sensing into the left cheek. Sensing into the right cheek. Sensing into your eye sockets, the left socket. Sensing into your eye sockets, the right socket. Sensing into your eyeball. Sensing them floating in the pool of the eyelid, eye cavity. Behind the moist curtains of the eyelids. Sensing into the forehead, into the top of the head. Sensing into your hair, from the scalp outward. Now sensing into the entire head cavity, beyond any functioning. And now sensing in to your whole being, whole body, embodied sensing. Any aching that may show up, any pain that may show up, allow it to be. Just sensing, just being with what is. The mind of equanimity, accepting the body as is. Perhaps finding a bit of restfulness in this deep sensing. Perhaps. With the mind, we actively scan, allowing the body to be as it is, allowing the mind to rest back as it is. May you feel safe. May you feel contented. May you feel at ease. And may you feel gratitude.